trying to edit the overlay yet. Trying to actually figure out how I switched it to the bottom. I don't actually see like what is wrong? What do I
Can you move the faces like you can on Zoom? And you can take your boxes and
Can you do that? Yeah, Chris, you're at the bottom of my screen too, so oh, that's what it was. Okay. All right, and then hold on. I'm gonna remember this.
Now Robert's in jail.
I found it. I did it, guys. All right, so we have not what am I trying to say? Oh, I haven't created a new template for this yet. I created one in Canva, guys, but I don't know if I was just trying to be too fancy. I was trying to make it more visually appealing for our audience and easier for us to like follow along per section. It looks really good, actually. Whoops. But right, like it's pretty good. It's pretty good. But yeah, but then I realized Carly's always helping us by editing in real time. And so I feel like maybe if we had the slideshow, and then Carly, we had a document that you were editing in real time. How's that sound?
that works. Oh, yeah, I like that. This is fine for today, though.
Good morning. I wish it would show me. I think it's probably because it's like maybe it's through a group, and if it's through a group, it doesn't show me who the comment comes from. But good morning, whoever made that comment. All right, so we'll just stick with the document for now, guys, and then we'll figure it out. Basically, we're gonna recap anyway of like setting the tone for the week. I know all of us had a crazy first week. So while I introduce like we always do, why don't you guys post your the thing you're grateful for this week. So everybody who's watching, thanks so much for being here. This is the Mega Team Challenge where we are attempting to build a Mega Team in 1 year because we're insane. And yeah, what a Mega Team means for us is 10 capped agents, 40 million in volume, and 175 clients served. And this is building it from scratch. No cheating involved. We either had or were partners with other mega teams, but we are not borrowing anybody just to bump up numbers and then say we built a mega team. This is all from scratch, which means you're going to see a lot of chaos and a lot of fatigue. But the hope is that we also see a lot of success and create a blueprint so that we can share it with others. So we'll just quickly introduce the amazing leadership team. Obviously, there's this guy right here, me, co-team leader and helps everyone with everything guy. And then we have Chris Rains, who is also the co-team leader. He's the director of production and designated lumberjack. Director of operations and saves all our butts is Catherine Polsinelli. Director of coaching and time management, Geeter Dunn Walter with his Hawaiian shirt. Wait a second. Are you not wearing a Hawaiian shirt?
It is a Hawaiian shirt.
Oh, I was so stressed. I was about to remove you from the stream.
Here, I'll lower the screen so everyone can see the beautiful palm trees and the margaritas.
Woo! I was worried, man. I was sweating over here. Like, am I gonna have to kick Walter out? Director of marketing is Christian Santiago. He is not here because his wife just had a baby, and so he's literally staying up through the night so that she can sleep because they have like 5-6 kids. So, so he's getting stuff done and behind the scenes. He just right at this time is when he finally gets a chance to sleep, and I'm like, man, take it. If you can get any sleep, for anybody who's watching, if you can get some sleep when you have kids, you take it. Director
I'll be there in March. I'm not envious.
Oh, it's coming, Chris. It's coming. Take note. Fortunately, most of us here have kids at all different stages, so we got you, Chris. Director
My
of
baby girl
outreach
drives off to college today.
Oh, dude, come on now. All right, let me finish. I keep saying director of outreach. Director of outreach, Carly, she helps us basically stay on track with everything and helps us reach out. And, well, I guess that's kind of outreach already, huh? But honestly, Carly does so much in the back end to help us communicate and keep in touch and deliver the message, and works with Christian on the marketing and helps me with a bunch of other stuff that is amazing. All right, well, let's do some gratitude. I'll start. Let me see if so I have this window up. Let me see. Well, anyway, I got an awesome text. So for those who are watching, the team, we nurture our past clients. We have postcards and holiday gifts and things like that. And yesterday I got a text randomly from a past client who was my client, man, like either my second or third client when I got into real estate, and I've been nurturing her ever since. Get a text and it says I'm gonna pull it up because it's like the perfect text for the example I'm trying to make right now. Like, it says, "Happy New Year, thanks for the Christmas ornament. I want to sell my house. Can you help me with that?" Pretty solid text, if I may say so myself. And so now I have a listening appointment with her tomorrow. And honestly, I'm super grateful. I'm grateful for things like Thanks.io that helps us to automate this for the team. Mostly automate, I should say. Mostly automate it for the team. Thankful for like Etsy, where we get a lot of our Christmas ornaments. Thankful that we have a team to do this with and build relationships for. So let's see. We got some good ones here. And just so everybody knows, Walter may have to bail at any moment. He's had apparently some serious windshield issues. And they didn't give him an exact time when they're showing up. So they could show up at any second, and then he's got to go take care of business. Walter said he is thankful for great weather to start running again. That's right. Walter's a runner. He got a nice few miles in this morning. Awesome. And you at the same time. Few miles. You're crazy, Walter. It's awesome. And he's thankful for the partnerships he's making in his local community. Kat says grateful for warmer weather that came through. Yeah, we had lots of rain, didn't we? Yesterday was crazy rain. Carly, thankful for finding a new church. That's always awesome. Fiance and I haven't been since moving to a different neighborhood in Nashville last year. Went to a great service today, and we're excited to go back next week. Carly, come on now. That's so amazing, having your church community. That's awesome. Chris, did you already? Oh, there it is. I was like, what? Thankful, Chris. Thankful for my lumberjack strength. My pregnant wife woke up on the couch with cramping calves. Oh, that's awful. You carried her to bed, you sweetheart. Oh my goodness.
I was almost late because of it, but
you sweetheart.
I did carry her to the bed.
Knight in shining armor. Yep. Look at that.
Lumberjack.
Now I want to get a shirt of like you and like a flannel shirt, and then like you're just carrying your pregnant wife. That'd be hilarious and awesome at the same time.
We should do it. There's so many shirts.
There's so many shirts.
We're pretty close to changing it to the awesome shirt team instead of.
I know, right? We need to. Here's the thing, Carly. Put this on the list. Let's open like an Etsy or a drop shipping thing for the team, because apparently every week we have a new shirt idea. Got 99 problems, but Elite ain't one. I think that would be killer. All right. Goals for the meeting. So honestly, this is not going to be great today because I didn't make a new agenda. So 100% on me. I own that. But really the big thing is I think if we focus today on establishing what we need to do this week, there's a bunch that we didn't quite get done. So I think we've already got a good place to start. And then honestly, I'm going to add the task of doing this template to my schedule. So just a reminder of the rules for live streaming. Let's try, I know it's hard, but let's try not to mention anybody on the team by name, just in case they don't want their name out there. Unless it's for praise, because they do not mind praise. That I know. And we love praising the team. Kat, good idea. Talking about some items we want to go over with the team. I know I need the team meeting up too. I have to pull that up. All right. Oh yeah, let's always be honest. Even though we're on the live stream, let's try and keep it real with everybody. If we got problems, issues, things we're trying to face. Whole goal is to really help people out. Let's just get into it. So, Catherine, I know this week you and I are getting together to basically set the template. I think that'll make all the meetings after that for everybody else really solid. So let's just make sure you and I, even part of the team meeting when we do the time blocking section, whatever we got to do, let's get it on the calendar.
Okay.
So we'll just get that done. I think that'll be pretty solid. Production report, operations report, marketing and systems report, coaching report, onboarding checklist. That's just a work in progress. We're always going to be working on that and improving that.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of as we go, as long as we just keep updating the document. As you probably saw, Catherine, I put random sections in there that don't have information, but I want to have as part of the onboarding process so we can go back and kind of fill in later. So let's see. How is onboarding going? Is everybody getting plugged in? I know we don't have the Team Google Drive really up and running yet, but which is fine. It's not a huge priority because we're getting everybody the resources they need. But how's everything else going for that? Do you know? I know we don't have a report template set up yet, but
As far as I know, everybody's in. I keep checking Dotloop and Chime and everything just to make sure people have been in it recently as well, to make sure they're using it. So
awesome. I know this will be easier once we have the report. We'll actually have a list and we'll go down that list and it'll make it a lot easier. So we're just kind of winging it today. Welcome to what we do, right? Good morning, Irene. Yeah, it is early, isn't it? Oh, there. Look, did you guys know I can show you the comments? Check that out.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Get fancy.
How do you say that first word, Robert?
I think it's ooh-wee.
That was not very charismatic out of you.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Woo! It's early.
That's better. All right.
Yeah.
Now we got it.
Scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best. How was my acting right there?
That was a solid 8.5.
So I'll take that.
only because I had to ask twice.
Oh,
my bad. Hey, Irene said I nailed it, so there we go. Thank you,
Irene is still tired.
Getting all the jokes this morning. I love it. Cool. Well, Catherine, let's do a pulse check on everybody since we don't have quite the template that we want set up. I think what we could do to help us right now is have each agent with a profile inside of Chime, and then in there we can kind of make a note of checking the boxes that they're in, making sure that way I don't have to always bug you if I want to know in the middle of the week too. Like, okay, did we get so-and-so set up? Cool. I'll go check. And then I don't have to bother you as much. A little more Southern accent, Irene says. I'll work on that. That's probably one of my weaker accents.
I got you there.
Yeah, you do. All right, so Christian has been working. Oh, I mean, I guess Catherine, anything to add for operations side of things?
I don't think at the moment. I'll get with you later so we can go over some stuff, and then with everyone else, Walter, Chris, Christian,
Sweet.
and all them, as far as their reports, I'll either try to schedule something for like 30 minutes just to kind of get you guys' ideas if there's anything you want on it, or if we need to, we can do it via email or Slack, whatever works for you guys. So, and then that way I can get those working hopefully before the end of this week.
I'll try and see if we can make even something today work. I'll I'll work on it. Cool. All right. So to Christian, he's been working his butt off. A lot of this stuff I told him put on the back end because we're still working on it. He did do the video editor is getting trained and had his first training session, and it went really well. So we should be able to start creating some recap videos where I kind of narrate how the week went. And then once we have that type of content, we can start putting in newsletters and having content that if we all want, we can utilize for ourselves. Email signatures, honestly, haven't done that. Probably should get on that because I just don't want any compliance issues. So I definitely need to get that one done, and I'm going to help Christian with that one. So I'm going to work on putting that on my calendar. Carly, I need to definitely get that on my calendar. Let's see, productivity trackers. We're almost done with the revisions, and then we should have those live probably today, which will be super awesome. Then we can start using, and actually there's success trackers. Let's change that. Success trackers.
Great success.
Great success. Obviously he's going to get with Catherine, but Kat and I are going to try and maybe see if we can squeeze something in today. Maybe we'll check our calendars so that we can get these templates done. And like I said, once we have the templates done, I think it'll be really quick for the rest of you to prepare your reports because it'll be just adding a metric here and changing a little bit of wording. Same for the weekly success sheet. That is in its final revisions and should be done today. So I'll just stay on top of Christian for anything like this, and let's just move on to Chris. Chris needs to learn how to use a CRM. That's true. How is that going, actually? Genuinely asking. How is
I spent about 3 hours on that yesterday.
What a baller. Look at you.
Got 1,600 of my contacts entered in.
Woo!
And I got a third of them set up with whatever line that they're in. So I've got 2/3 of them left to go. It's awfully time consuming. But I'm getting them all in there, and I will have all those things set up, and I'm learning as I go here a little bit. So I am on it.
You are on it.
I do have about 1,000 other things that I'm constantly doing between that and helping all of these agents produce and teaching them how to run comps. And
dude, you're awesome. I know that's a big
doing documents with everybody, and yeah, there's a lot.
Way to lead by example. Sincerely mean that.
I am getting all my contacts in there, and I am learning. So
you're awesome, man. Let's see. So as far as, again, we'll create a process. We're almost done with the team contract, as you know, which is on my list. So we'll get to it. But how is it with just helping the agents to stay on putting them in the CRM? Remember, it's really a lot for their benefit, so we can support them better.
So I still need to figure out, I haven't gotten that far as to figuring out what everyone else is doing. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm doing first.
Okay.
So
that's right. We're building this from scratch, right? So we are paving the way. We're making the processes. So totally understand. So what I'm hearing is you're getting a hold of what you're doing.
I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing to then look and see what everybody else is doing.
And then collectively.
I'm not going to know, what they're doing.
And it'll be a lot easier because we should have the success trackers coming in. We should have the reports. And so I think it'll get a lot easier once we have those to go off of.
I should be done. I spent a lot of the weekend putting baby furniture together. So it was like,
your
what
wife's
do I do?
social media is on point.
So
she's really good at what she does.
I'm also going to be keeping track of all the agents in Chime because that's the main use of Chime for me. So if you guys can talk to text, like some of the stuff you've done, I'm more than happy to put it in on my side so we at least have it.
You're so awesome.
As something to go off of is kind of what's been going on with the agents and stuff like that. So
that's awesome.
I appreciate the help, Catherine.
That's so great. Growth of Facebook groups. I know you've been doing some stuff, Chris. I saw you starting a couple extra groups. So, give me a quick rundown of how that's going.
I helped a few agents start a few. That was spent a couple hours on that yesterday morning. And yeah, we're definitely growing on multiple facets, even outside of the traditional team structure. So agents that have partnered with us, but not necessarily on our mega team, I'm helping them grow some of their groups as well. I probably have 6 or 7 agents outside of our mega team that I'm kind of helping.
But are in the Carbon Club? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. That I'm helping grow their groups a little bit as well and meeting with them. So it's constant something. So wearing a lot of
That's
hats
awesome.
on that spectrum
That's
and
fantastic.
trying to get everybody motivated.
Thanks so much for staying on top of that, because that is our main lead gen source, but it's also just such a great tool. It builds relationships. I mean, it's probably my favorite lead gen that we've had, and I've done a lot.
In the last month and a half, we've had no less than 2,000 leads at any point in time.
Amazing.
That need to be talked to. So
what? Let's go.
And that's what.
And how much do we pay for those leads, Chris?
$1 million. No, I don't spend no money.
Exactly. Oh man, you want to talk about slimming up your budget when you're running teams and brokerages? Talk about what a way, because lead gen is usually one of the most expensive. So thanks for all you're doing with that, Chris. For making sure they're submitting their daily success trackers, you can't do that because we don't have it yet. But it should be. I feel pretty confident about it being today. And then what I'll try and do is I'll try even do a little tutorial video just where I go over and I explain it, just to make it as easy as possible. Make sure everybody's confident in it. When to have the transaction requirements, we said that'll be organic. Again, we're recapping a lot. The report. So Catherine and I, by the end of the team meeting, should have something on our calendars between her and I. So what I'm going to say is when we do the time blocking for Catherine and I, right after that, Catherine, why don't you get with everybody else? Because then once you and I have our time blocked, you can block off with everybody else.
Yeah,
and that
fine.
way,
so
we'll be the catalyst for everybody else getting the reports ready.
If you guys don't mind, while you're making a production report, and I know he's good to go on me saying his name. So yeah, Sam has been helping me out a lot as I don't know what we want to call him, assistant of production or whatever. But yeah, he's been helping me out a lot with especially the newer agents coming in, them setting in on buyer Zoom appointments and stuff. If we're able to come up with a production report on that side of things too, on the number of Zooms and stuff that he's setting up with those agents, and letting them follow along on a lot of his journey, that would really help as well to keep track of that. So if you can kind of make a report there.
Yeah, I think what would be smart then is just have Sam sit on the on the meeting with you and Catherine when you're working on the report, and then see if he's got things he suggests adding in or anything that he personally would like to be a part of. And then just so you know, Chris, I just want to commend you for seeing someone like Sam who is just crushing it and doing such a good job and naturally was going in towards a type of leadership. And instead of you ignoring that, you poured into him. And I just want to say, that's really awesome. And I really appreciate that about you. And I think we've got a bunch of agents on the team that as they grow and become comfortable financially, where they're consistent, I think there's some leadership in there too, because I think a lot of them have really great talents and skills and mindsets. And so I'm really excited as we help them build financially, what that'll open up for them in other avenues. Because I think all of us have realized when you set yourself financially up, you then are able to do so much more. I mean, when correct me if I'm wrong, but Walter, when you first got into real estate, you were focused on selling homes. You weren't like, hey, I'm in real estate. I sold my first home. Therefore, I'm a coach. I'm making a pun off of some coaches out there. No, it came later. Once you figured out how to pay your bills consistently, you said, okay, now I can go do other things. Maybe I'm going to invest. Maybe I'm going to coach. Maybe I'm going to do other things. Look at Catherine. I've known Catherine. We started in real estate literally at the same time. And she went from, okay, I've established myself. After being a new agent, she established herself and she started to find the ways where she liked to bless, to serve, to give, to grow. And so now she goes and does that. And so I think it's just a really, really cool thing. And you know, Chris, it's what you're doing with Sam is a great reminder that when we're looking at agents, to not just look at them and say, okay, how many transactions are you doing? No. What do you need to be successful, to feel successful, to pay your bills? And then beyond that, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? So I just wanted to commend you for that, because I think that's really awesome.
Real quick, the other very nice thing about helping other agents is you have to learn it and you have to get better at it. So in order to be able to teach, you have to actually think about what you're doing rather than just going in and doing it. And then it makes you even better. And even as I've been teaching more and more, the new agents coming in, I'm realizing that like all of the stuff that I do is so automatic that now I'm having to think about every single little detail and every single little process to actually teach them. All right, you drag this down. You know, when you're setting up a search, you unclick the auction thing, you know, like all this stuff that I just automatically do. It's natural habit. And I'm like, every step I have to highlight. So for Sam, he even, you know, kind of brought that up. He's like, it's making him better already just by having to go in and tell them that. The other nice thing is when you're setting in with a new buyer client and you're doing a Zoom and you're setting up an auto search with them and you're saying, hey, I've got a new agent that I'm teaching, it's going to give you automatic credit. Like they're going to think, all right, this guy's fantastic. He's teaching another agent as well.
Yeah.
And it's going to help build that and nurture that a little bit, because they're like, wow, he must really know what he's doing.
Right.
So I think it's creating a symbiotic situation there between the agents, and plus it's helping build the team up, build better relationships with the team. So many facets there, kind of helping that grow. Blowing up Kat's head
with all the compliments to her. Oh man, I gotta be quicker on these comments when they're coming in. I totally agree with you, Chris. And then moving on to team core values, missions, all that. Chris and I had that on the calendar. I'm gonna be transparent. It's 100% my fault that didn't happen. I had a friend who needed some help, and I thought that when I told them come over tomorrow at this time, I thought it was one day forward, Saturday. And it wasn't, it was Friday. So they showed up Friday at the time because I had confused Thursday and Friday. So it is 100% my fault that didn't get done. 100% my fault. So I will get on that and do it better. All right. Let's see. Chris, anything to add or anything like that for production?
Yeah, I'm not going to mention any names, but one of our brand new agents, she's already getting people reaching out to her. We're helping her some of her social media content, and she's already getting people reaching out to buy with her, to sell with her, and she's had her license a week.
That's awesome.
It's crazy.
That's really awesome. Once we, maybe even in the team meeting today, because it'll be recorded, and then once we have the team agreement signed, there is a release inside of the team agreement that says team-related activities will be recorded. Make sure you opt out if you don't want to. But we can also just ask them, hey, guys, like, we want to praise you. Can we praise you by name? We won't say anything, derogatory or insulting. We wouldn't do that anyway. That's not the way we run this. But that would be a good thing maybe to bring up in the meeting. Would you guys agree? That way, if we do accidentally slip or we know who's like, no, totally say my name. Okay, cool. Like, it makes it easier for a conversation. And we want to blow them up. We want people watching to know who these agents are that are doing an amazing job.
We can bring some of them on as guests sometimes too, if they want to hop on and highlight them.
Irene says, I accept all praises. Just so
go, Irene.
She's on fire this morning.
I gave you my southern ooey there.
Give me one thing.
Southern twang.
All right, let's see. Walter. So we're obviously doing the time blocking. I'm seeing you jump in more on a daily basis with the calendars. Seeing super great results with that, guys. I honestly think that that's one of the. I don't even know haphazard it came about, the idea, but I think it's one of the best ideas that came up. is having them, having all of us post our daily schedules, because it really does allow us the opportunity to dive in with them. Last week I asked Walter, hey, could you help dive in on what they're doing and kind of help them with that time blocking? And he did. And I'm just seeing really great conversations come up around them, because I think we've talked about this before. I think we've all talked about this, is that there's no magic course. There's no, you take one course and you'll be set for life in real estate. Or, now that you've learned this secret technique for being a billionaire through Google Calendar time blocking, that you're going to become a billionaire. We all know it's in the daily practice, the constant refinement. And I think that's why we're seeing success in this, is that every day, Chris or Walter, typically it's Walter and I jumping on this. We're going into the calendars in each day, trying to help the agent refine what they're doing that day. And that's really cool. And I think that's why we're seeing some good results, is that we're helping them on a daily basis versus, cool, we taught you once, therefore forever you're perfect at it. Okay, right, because that's realistic. So I'm pretty excited to kind of see long-term results. Walter, I think some way to, I think in the report, we should have a section to see who, in not even in a judgmental way, but who is posting it each day, so that we know, okay, is there any correlation to someone who might be struggling and also wasn't posting the schedule where you and I could jump in and help them on a daily basis? And then again, all of this will coincide once we have the success trackers. We'll know where we're weak and need to strengthen, but we'll also know where they're weak and how to support them better. So I think a lot of this will be really cool. And I'm really excited. And thank you, Walter, for stepping in and just pouring more into the agents on a daily basis. That's really awesome. And I think we're honestly already seeing success from that. Holding them accountable, I mean, that's just us fine tuning with them. And I want to clarify, again, because it's really important. When we say holding accountable, it's holding them accountable to what they want. We all know this. None of us are bought in on each other's vision. No, we're bought in on a collective vision that supports our individual vision that we all have. And so the agents on the team, they really are our partners. We're all partnering together to accomplish certain things that benefit us as a whole and benefits individually. So I just want to put it out there. When I say accountable, it's accountable to the things that they want, the things that they said. Because if it's just what we dictate, we both know, like we all know, sorry, that won't resonate and that won't last. Time blocking plan. So Walter, I know you've been meeting with them one-on-one and kind of teaching them some more principles and things like that, and just how to structure better. I know you and I think it's today actually.
Later today.
Have a meeting to where we will start to map this out and have a template. I think if we create a template, this will be really great, because I think maybe even when the agents understand what to do, how to put it down on paper, like literally just put it down on paper, can be overwhelming. I struggle with that. One of the best things that happens to me is when someone makes me a draft that I can edit. I just get it done faster. So I think when we turn around and create this template for them to use, I think we're going to get a lot more results. And then it'll also be easier for us to follow along on their vision, because we won't have, one person has this kind of way of doing it here and this way, and we're like, okay, what are we really looking at here? So I think that'll help a lot. So I'm looking forward to doing that with you. So individual agent goals, again, that's really hand in hand with the.
And I have two templates that we'll talk about today. One is a big picture goal planning template to say, what's the median sales price in your market? What's the average commission in your market? How much money do you want to make? How much expenses are you putting into your business? Breaking that all the way down into, this is the actual closed volume and actual closed numbers you need to hit your goal. So that'll be the big picture. Like, okay, I can break this down in a logical way to understand how much I need to do. And then we have the time blocking template where they can just see an example of how to actually lay out their individual days so that they can accomplish that big picture goal.
Absolutely.
We'll talk a little bit about those templates and we'll get them refined.
And speaking of time blocking, one of the agents who looked at their schedule and said, oh my gosh, I'm spending all this time driving to drop off checks and things like that. As of today, that changed to mail check. So they just saved themselves hours of driving. So I just want to say, like, super cool. The time blocking already, they've just gotten hours back. And again, we just don't think about it like, oh, I'll just quickly do that, or it's not a big deal, and it's like everything that we spend our time on, it has a positive, it either gives us opportunity to do more or it takes us away from opportunity. And so I think it's really important. So I just want to say that's a really awesome thing that we're seeing already through the time blocking. Reaching out to agents directly to gather coaching needs. This is going to just be part of the kind of report. Thank you, Catherine. She just reminded me that we're going to try and end early so people actually have a chance to not end early, end at the 45-minute mark so that people actually have a chance to go to the bathroom before we get into our team meeting. Obviously, like we said with everybody else, Kat and I will time block ours, and then after that, Kat will get with all of you to time block after that so we can create the template. Anything to add, Walter?
Nope, that's looking good. I know most of our agents have done the one-on-one. Hey, let's refine it for you. There might be a couple out there. I'm actually going to go back through Slack later today, hopefully, and just line by line say, okay, who do I know I've budgeted on the calendar and we've had a conversation, and who hasn't? And those that haven't, I'm going to shoot them a message directly and say, hey, no kidding, let's get you on the calendar. So we'll try to get everybody through there.
I'm gonna keep an eye out for that message, Walter.
There we go.
I'll be honest with you. I'll send you guys the message too. I take for granted, like I assume that we all know this. So I haven't, when I say agents, I'm not necessarily thinking about the leadership of the team. I'm thinking about the newer agents that are coming on board. But if you want to, then absolutely, we'll get you on the calendar too.
I assumed Chris used the CRM. I was wrong. Okay.
But he did well without it. He's going to do amazing.
I crush it without it. So
there's no disrespect there. No disrespect.
My follow-up game's strong.
We all
dinner with everybody, grabbing drinks.
True. You're very social. It's wild.
I got a different experience. I don't just send postcards. I go in person.
So let's Catherine, let's add Walter and I will basically create an explainer video and a template. So let's add that in the future once it's done as part of the onboarding, and the vision and planning as part of that. Like, it'll be part of their, I don't know if onboarding's the right place. Really, it's going to be part of like a startup, right? Whatever you want to call it, a kickoff or whatever. But I think you know what I'm trying to say. Let's add that into the planning. I mean, I think one of the biggest things that I've seen on a lot of teams when I've spoken to agents, which you guys know, 50 to 100 agents a month I'm usually talking to, is a lot of times there's just no vision. They don't know where they're going. And so they have random numbers with random actions that produce random results. Ooh, I like that. Save that. But so I think if we made sure that, like, hey, you're coming on, awesome. So as part of your onboarding or part of your, I don't like saying boot camp, it's so dramatic, but as part of like how we're getting you up and running, you're also going to get this planning session because it's the team.
Your jumpstart kit. Yeah,
something like that. I like that. Jumpstart kit. That's fun. So let's make sure we add that in there, because I think that'd be a great asset to have there. All right, on to me. Well, where did I go? We're almost there on the contract side of things. Catherine and Walter, if you guys end up having time, feel free to take a look. It's okay if you don't. Just if you had time and want to glance at it and had any suggestions or feedback, please do. Chris already made some great notes, but it sounds like we're pretty much right there. Really excited about that. I'm really happy about how it turned out. I think it's really honest and transparent. It puts everything on paper, what we agreed to. So I'm really excited about that. let's see. So once that's done, I mean, I'm feeling pretty confident as that's coming up. I think it's probably in the next day or two, it should be done. And then I'm going to work on an explainer video where I go over the contract so that people aren't signing blind. Someone actually takes the time to explain what they're reading, because even when it's written on paper, it does not mean that it's easy to understand. Now, I tried to make it as simple as possible. In fact, shout out to Ben Seaman over at Bell and Alexander Title, who's an amazing attorney. He helped me with the wording to where I basically summarize each or paraphrase each section into like layman's terms. So it might be like, oh, legalese up here. And then it's like, all right, basically here's what we said. So it's like the goal is to really help them understand what it is so everybody's on the same page.
I love all the comments at like the end of the paragraph where it's like, I think that's pretty fair, you know?
But that's the way I want.
No,
right.
Like, it's creating a level of like, all right, here's like the legit contract, and here is like our true explanation. Here's how we're going to actually relate it to real life and make it.
Shoot, I better speed through this.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
All right. No, you're good. I agree with you. Okay, team schedules. Okay, so I got to work on this. Team schedules, response times, preferred contact method is on my calendar, just so we can get better at communicating with each other more efficiently and effectively. Slack channels, work in progress. That will always be a work in progress. Feel free, guys, if you ever have ideas for Slack channels to help organize it. I'm open to that. Even if you need a private one, we'll probably need one for the TC work. I think that's really smart. Things like that. I think we need one.
We need a shirt idea. Keep up with all that.
You know what? We do need a shirt idea. I'm not even kidding. Put a shirt idea channel on there. Let's do it, Carly. Team minimum requirements and base offerings. So those are in the works. Team base offerings is pretty much done. The team minimum requirements, when we say requirements, it's really basic stuff. It's literally I'm putting things in there like communicate with us because we want to help you. But it's just putting it very simply. We're hoping that together we can have this type of relationship. So those are pretty much done. Very close. Micro consequences. I pushed that back again. It's not a big deal, and I don't like the word consequences. It makes it sound like we're trying to put a consequence. So I want to make sure it comes across the right way. I don't care as much as I want them to achieve. We all want them to achieve what they set out to do. How do we help them do that? And so it's kind of like toying with the idea, but it's not an urgent thing, in my opinion. Feel free to disagree if anybody does. Team meeting structure template. Yeah, working on that. It sounds like what we're going to do is have kind of like a slideshow that's easier to follow along, that breaks it down in sections. And then Carly will have a Google Doc like this on the back end to where she's typing and making notes. So Chris and I will be meeting with the team core values. We're going to get that done. Walter and I are meeting already.
What if we made it a micro cupcake fund?
That's
like
fun.
Literally all the people that did what they were supposed to do gets cupcakes with the other people's consequence money. A micro cupcake fund.
I don't know. I'm worried about that causing division, like pitting people against each other.
Maybe not. I don't know.
We'll play with it. StreamYard overlay. I haven't done that. I'll get it done. I don't even know. I think I need to put that on my calendar. I don't think that's on my calendar. I do know how to present, so that's done. Let's see. Agent success stories. Oh, that's a work in progress. We're just trying to figure out how to highlight and spotlight agents better and praise them. So anything that you guys need to add to the Irene says cupcakes. She is on board.
See, I knew Irene would like that.
Yeah. Anything anybody needs to go over?
She probably had cupcakes for breakfast.
Well, don't call her out like that. You better watch it.
Sorry. I'm not judging. I do it too.
Anybody else need to add anything to the team meeting? I gotta find where that template is. Team meeting. There we go. Anything you all need to go over specifically? No? Good?
Yeah, I think we covered most of it.
Sweet.
Basics of it.
Okay. We're basically just going to kind of recap last week. I'll get better at this. It's really hard, just so you know, to make all these agendas. I know we need them. It's just hard because it takes a long time. You have to think about it and you have to check in. And so, awesome. Well, let's wrap it up then. Right on the money. 7:45. I'll see you guys in 15 minutes for the team meeting. Everybody else who was watching, commenting, especially Irene, like she obviously came in first, so she gets a cupcake for most comments. Thanks for being here. Thanks for contributing. Thanks for the leadership being here this morning because it's tiring to be up. It's best to eat your sweets in the morning. Life advice from Irene. Wake up, eat sweets. Go back to bed.
Then give it a big ooh-wee.
All right. Well, anybody watching, every Monday and Friday, 7 a.m. Central, we go live, showing you the ins and outs of building a mega team from scratch, the good, the bad, the ugly. We would love to have your suggestions, thoughts, feedback, company as we go through this journey. And then if you're an agent local to Tennessee, we are expanding and growing with people on this mission. So we'd love to talk to you and see about partnering up. Otherwise, thanks again, everybody, and leadership team. You guys rock. I'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.